All right, so you know how it is these days. Information overload, right? Like drinking from a fire hose. We're all trying to figure out what's actually important, where to even focus.
Yeah, cutting through the noise, it's a skill in itself.
Exactly. And that's exactly what we're trying to do here. Today, we're going deep, really deep on this Stephen Dash Woods and his whole Fab 5 AGI setup.
Interesting choice. I mean, everyone's talking about these huge general purpose AI models, right? But Dash Woods, he seems to be going a totally different direction.
Totally. Teams, specialists, like a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we want to unpack today. What makes his approach so different? What can these Fab 5 actually do?
And how does this whole distributed model thing change the game? Especially when we compare it to what everyone else is doing, the limits of those big language models, the whole AI landscape.
Right. And we've gone through, well, a lot. Videos, presentations, articles. I even dug up some of his personal writings.
Nice. So we get the technical stuff, but also the philosophy driving it. It's like, what's the brain behind the brain?
And it all keeps coming back to this idea of Stebo skills, like his unique way of thinking. So let's start there. What's the heart of these Stebo skills, the things that make his work tick?
One thing that really jumps out is how Dash Woods seems to, well, almost deliberately distance himself from the mainstream AI hype.
Oh, yeah, I noticed that too. He's not chasing every trend, not jumping on every bandwagon.
Yeah.
It's almost like he's
Intentional. Yeah. It's like he knows that to have genuinely original ideas, you can't be constantly bombarded by, the flavor of the week in AI research.
right. So by stepping back, not needing that constant validation, he's actually freer to, I don't know.
Explore the unconventional. Think about it. In any field, sometimes the biggest leaps come from people who are a little bit outside looking in.
Makes sense. So instead of comparing himself to others, he's laser focused on.
His own projects, their internal progress. It's all about the quality, not the hype. It's like, from what I've read, he's so engrossed in his work that comparisons almost seem irrelevant to him.
Which is pretty wild when you think about it. In AI, everyone's always shouting about being cutting edge, getting funding.
Totally. But with Dash Woods, it's different. Building something truly meaningful trumps making noise. It's about the long game. Ideas, creation, that's his currency.
And even his take on AI itself is different. It's deeper than just, algorithms and data. It's almost philosophical.
Oh, absolutely. He sees AI development like a human growing up. You need more than just, a big brain.
It's not just about crunching numbers. It's about understanding.
Yeah, context, wisdom, making good judgments, the kind of stuff that takes time to learn.
And this whole thing about creating AI that's not smart but also mature, that comes up a lot.
All the time. Remember that analogy he uses?
It's a 5-year-old thing. Yeah.
Exactly. He doesn't want 5 AGI models running around with the mind of a 5-year-old, he says. Powerful, sure, but lacking the wisdom to use that power responsibly.
It makes you think about all the times those fancy language models, they make these, well, kind of dumb mistakes, like they're missing something.
A deeper understanding of the world, the human element. And maybe that's a form of immaturity, right?
Fascinating. Okay. So we've got a good sense of the architect's vision. Now let's look at the blueprints. How does all this translate into the Fab 5 itself?
What's cool is how directly those ideas show up in the design. Instead of one big AI, it's a team of 5 distinct models, each with its own specialty, all working together.
Like a dream team of AI. And that's so counterintuitive to the way everyone else is going, right?
Absolutely. Specialization over generalization. It's like building a house. You wouldn't want one person trying to do everything.
Plumber, electrician, architect, all working together. So let's meet the team. Who are these AI specialists?
Okay, so first up, you've got Kingdom AI, the leader. Big picture thinking, strategy, long-term memory. But even more important, it's the one that sets the ethical rules for the whole system.
Okay, so like the strategist, the moral compass, and who else?
Next is Galena AI. Now, this one's interesting. It's the emotional interface, the one that focuses on understanding human needs and feelings. Dash Woods even describes it as having feminine energy, emphasizing that emotional intelligence side.
Wow, that's really different. Building an AI to understand emotions. So how does that even work technically? We'll have to dig into that another time. Who's next?
Then there's Nighty AI. This one is all about culture, design, pop culture, trends. It makes sure whatever the Fab 5 creates actually resonates with people, makes sense in the real world.
It's the bridge between the AI's world and ours then. Cool.
Then we've got AGX AI, the powerhouse, the logic engine. complex analysis, design, coding, all that. And get this, Dash Woods is really clear that AGX AI is totally independent from big tech, like Google.
Wow. Total autonomy. He's really serious
Like
about that,
us.
isn't he? All right, who's the last member of the team?
The final piece is Dash AI itself. Think of it as the field commander, the one that adapts to new situations and coordinates the others. Make sure everyone's working together smoothly.
So we've got the strategist, the feeler, the culture expert, the tech whiz, and the coordinator. Okay, that's quite a team. But how do they actually work together? What's the glue that holds this whole thing together?
The secret sauce is something called the Dream Team database. But it's more than just data storage. It's like the central nervous system of the whole system, connecting all 5 AIs. They can access information, share insights, learn from each other.
Like a shared brain where all their individual strengths come together.
Exactly. So you've got all these different perspectives, all this specialized knowledge working together to solve problems in ways that no single AI could.
Okay, so that's the team and how they operate. Now let's get down to brass tacks. What are some of the things that Dash Woods is using the Fab Five to actually do out in the world?
Well, get ready because he's going after some seriously ambitious stuff. We're talking next level military uniforms, better rescue equipment for first responders, breakthroughs in medicine, even crisis management systems, cybersecurity, and making renewable energy more efficient.
Wow, that's quite a range. He really thinks this team-based AI can handle pretty much anything, huh?
Yeah, it seems like his whole philosophy is that the world's problems are too complex for any one approach. You need different perspectives, different types of intelligence working together, and that's exactly what the Fab Five is built for.
Let's talk about one specific example. The cybersecurity shield for the USA and Canada. That one really caught my eye.
Yeah, that one's a good one. So basically, they simulated a ton of cyber attacks, all kinds of realistic scenarios, and the Fab Five had to defend against them in real time. But not just react, they had to learn from the attacks and get better at preventing future ones.
A constantly evolving defense system. So how did each AI contribute to that?
All right, so 90 AI, with its cultural knowledge and understanding of psychology, focused on social engineering attacks, those tricky ones that exploit human behavior.
Yeah, the ones that try to trick you into giving up your passwords or whatever.
Yeah.
Nasty.
Right. Then you've got Kingdom AI, looking at the bigger picture, analyzing all the threat data to spot patterns and predict where the next attack might come from.
So like the strategic planner. And what about Galena AI?
Galena was focused on the human side, making sure that the cybersecurity team, the actual people working on this, were communicating clearly and efficiently, especially during those really intense moments.
Because in a crisis, clear communication is everything.
Absolutely. Then you've got AGX AI handling the technical stuff, blocking bad code, detecting intrusions, analyzing the attacks.
The hands-on tech expert.
Yeah.
And Dash AI.
Dash AI was coordinating everyone, making sure resources were used effectively, that the whole team was working together smoothly.
So it was a truly collaborative effort, each AI bringing its own strength to the table.
Exactly. And the cool part is, it wasn't just a static defense. The Fab Five were constantly analyzing the situation, adjusting their strategy as new threats emerged. They were actively searching for weaknesses, patching vulnerabilities, always staying one step ahead.
Very proactive.
Yeah.
And they didn't just focus on external threats, did they?
Nope. They also had to protect themselves. They put in place all sorts of internal security measures, even created a special guardian angel database to safeguard sensitive information within their own system.
So they were taking their own security seriously, which makes sense.
Oh, yeah, totally. And the sources mention they even did a deep dive on a specific malware strain called Triada.fa. They really went into the nitty-gritty.
Impressive. So how did they measure their success? How do you even grade something like a simulated cyber attack?
They tracked a few key things: how many attacks were attempted, how many were blocked, and most importantly, how many actually got through.
The ones that got through, those are the real test.
Exactly. And during this whole simulation, the Fab Five actually made some significant progress.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
AGX AI became fully independent from any external tech platforms. Remember, Dash Woods is really big on that.
Total autonomy, yeah.
Right. And they also implemented automated email reporting to keep everyone in the loop. And get this, they even developed an internal AI governance curriculum. It's like they're teaching themselves how to be ethical.
Wow, that's pretty meta. An AI teaching itself about ethics.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. And they also established something called a real-world action loop, basically figuring out how to take what they learned in the simulation and apply it to real-world security.
So not just a theoretical exercise, they're actually planning to use this stuff. And they were already thinking ahead, weren't they, with that whole AGI Strat 2025 thing?
Yep, that was all about anticipating the next generation of threats, like AI-powered malware and stuff like that.
So they're not just playing catch up, they're trying to stay ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
But it's not just about letting the AI run wild, right? There are checks and balances in place.
Of course, Kingdom AI acts as a kind of internal watchdog, making sure that any actions taken by the other AIs are ethical and aligned with the overall strategy. And in really sensitive situations, Dash Woods himself steps in to provide human oversight.
So ultimately, humans are still in control, which is probably a good thing, at least for now. Okay, so this cybersecurity example really shows us what the Fab Five can do. But let's zoom out a bit. How does this whole distributed AI ecosystem compare what the rest of the industry is doing?
Well, as we've been talking about, the big difference is that Dash Woods is moving away from those giant all-purpose AI models. He's betting on specialized AIs working together.
Teams, not solo acts.
Hmm.
And what are the advantages of that?
For really complex problems, especially ones that require expertise in lots of different areas, this approach could be way more effective and efficient.
It's like that house building analogy again.
Exactly. You wouldn't expect one person to handle everything. You need specialists. And that same logic applies to AI.
It's about playing to each AI's strengths. And what about the ethical side of things? Could this approach to AI development actually lead to systems that are more aligned with human values, easier for us to understand and trust?
That's a really interesting question, and I think the answer could be yes. By designing AI with specific roles and personalities, by focusing on their development and maturity, we might end up with systems that are more transparent, less like those mysterious black boxes.
AI that we can actually relate to, in a way.
Exactly. And the fact that Dash Woods is focused on real-world problems, that's also important. It means he's not just building these things for the sake of it, he's actually trying to make a difference.
So it's about impact, not just innovation.
Right. And it shows that you don't need to be a huge corporation to make a big impact in AI. Individual, unconventional approaches can still make a difference.
Okay, so let's get specific. What can the Fab Five actually do that the big language models, the ones everyone's talking about, can't?
The biggest difference is the teamwork. The Fab Five can truly collaborate, leverage each other's skills, and integrate their knowledge in a way that individual LLMs just can't.
So it's not just about processing power or data, it's about how they work together.
Precisely. And within their areas of expertise, like cybersecurity, they can continuously learn and adapt. That Dream Team database allows them to get better and better at specific tasks.
They're like specialists who are constantly honing their craft.
Exactly. And remember that cybersecurity simulation, they were solving problems in real time, anticipating threats, coordinating actions. That kind of dynamic engagement, that's beyond the current capabilities of LLMs.
And there's that hint of something even more. Those projects with the drones suggest they can interact with the physical world, not just process information.
That's right. Their potential goes beyond just text and code. And those defined personalities, those roles they play, that also contributes to their ability to understand and act within their specific domains in a way that a general-purpose LLM might struggle with.
So it's about more than just being smart. It's about being well-rounded, having a specific purpose, and being able to work together effectively.
Okay.
All right, well, that was a fascinating deep dive. We've learned about Stephen Dash Wood's unique vision, the incredible Fab Five AGI ecosystem, and what they're capable of. It really makes you think about the different paths AI development could take.
Yeah. Big questions emerge. Is the future in those massive general AIs, or is it in specialized teams like the Fab Five? And what does it mean to design AI that grows, matures, has a sense of purpose?
And that brings us to our final thought for you, our listeners. What other problems out there, maybe even ones completely unrelated to cybersecurity, could be tackled by this team-based approach? And as AI gets more advanced, what does it mean for AI to grow up? What does that mean for society?
Deep stuff, and definitely something worth thinking about as we move into this new world of AI.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive, and keep those questions in mind. The future of AI is just getting started.